Hey, sixth graders, we're starting chapter 8 today, and we're starting with the first section, converting customary units. Customary is a fancy word for mainly what we use in the U.S. Um, Things like feet, inches, yards, miles for length, weight, maybe pounds or ounces or tons, capacity. When capacity, I'm talking like how much for baking a lot of times, a cup, a quart, a pint. Ounces, those types of things. So you'll see there's this chart here at the top that has all these different ratios in there. So 1 pound equals 16 ounces, or 1 quart equals 4 cups. All things that we can use to help figure out. Maybe we want to know we have a bunch of 10 cups of something and how many ounces that is. And we can use these customary measurements we have there. So all of the common measurements above, so these are very common ones you see, can be used as what we call conversion factors. So conversion factors, we can convert with them. They are all ratios, so they can be written like a fraction. You can write it as 1/12 for 1 foot over 12 inches. Or if you want, you can say 12 inches to 1 foot because they are ratios. And if we want to be picky with it, we can say that they're more than ratios. They're actually rates because they have units. So how do we use these? So we can use them 2 different ways. Two different ways. We can use them as conversion factors, or we can use proportions. I'm going to show you conversion factors, not my favorite. Proportions is a little more straightforward, I think, but bear with me through conversion factors. Maybe it clicks with you and you say, hey, this works for me best. This is one you want to use your calculator on, so you don't make any multiplication or division errors. So it's using conversion factors. First, pick a known conversion factor. You're going to pick this from the table. So from the table above there. So then put the desired units. Desired are the units you want in your answer. Okay, on top of the ratio. Multiply the original, so that's what's given in the problem, by the conversion factor. So we want to convert 93 inches to feet. So we go back up to our table here, and inches and feet, we find those in this guy here, and we want one that has both feet and inches in it. So it says 93 inches to feet. So in our answer, we want to have feet as in our answer there. So because that's what I want, I'm going to put feet on top. So I have 1 foot to 12 inches. And it says multiply that by my original amount. So times 93 inches. And because I have inches on the bottom and then inches as what I'm multiplying with, those are actually going to cancel. So my final answer will have the feet here as my answer. So to put this in your calculator, the easiest way to do that is use the parentheses. So you've got a parentheses on your calculator, you push that button, then you'll do 1. You'll hit your division key, so it'll look like that on your calculator, 12, and then end your parentheses. That puts in this conversion factor into something I can use in my calculator. And then you'll hit times 93, and you'll hit equals. And when you hit equals, you should get 7.75. So we know our answer is 7.75 feet. That's conversion factor. Taking something from my table there, using my calculator to multiply, works great. Let's do pounds to ounces. So I go back up, and I look here. Pounds and ounces are in the weight one. 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So in this one, I want ounces as my final, so I'm going to put ounces on top. So 16 ounces over 1 pound. And I'm going to say times my original amount, which is 2 pounds. So I have pounds on the bottom and pounds when I multiply, so they cancel. So my answer is going to have ounces as units. So again, in your calculator, 16 divided by 1 times 2, and your calculator should spit out the number 32. So we have 32 ounces. Conversion factors work great. No problem with those. If that clicks for you, great. If you're kind of going, I'm not quite sure which one I like, let's look at proportions next on the back side of your paper. So here, again, pick a known conversion factor. So again, this is one from the table. So we're going to be picking very similar things. Set up a proportion with conversion factors. Remember to keep the same units on top and the same units on bottom for both ratios. So we are going to set up a problem that looks like this with an equal sign and two ratios on there. So right here we want to go from 48 quarts to gallons. So if I put 48 quarts, and I'm going to put X gallons. I'm just going to abbreviate gallons with GAL because we don't know how many gallons we need or we have there. So now we've got to go back up to our table here and we're looking for quarts and gallons. So right here I find I have 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So I can use that as my other piece. Now it was 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So because gallons is on the bottom, we want to put the 1 gallon on the bottom and the 4 quarts on the top. Now that you have 3 of the 4, you would multiply on the diagonal, and again, multiply on the diagonal, not always going to be those two. Sometimes it's a different diagonal. So we have 48 times 1, and that equals 48. And then with whatever number is left, in this case we have the 4 quarts, we're going to divide. So 48 divided by 4, and that equals 12. So in this case, we got an answer of 12. So my original, I'm trying to figure out this X here. How many gallons? Well, you would have 12 gallons. So there's your final answer. So that's using proportions. Cross, multiply, divide after setting it up. So we'll do another one here. Football goalposts are 30 feet tall. How many inches? So we have 30 feet. Abbreviation for feet is FT. And we are trying to find out X inches. Inches is IN. Hopefully you know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot, but if you're not sure, it is in the table on the front, and feel free to use that at any point while you're doing your homework. So I would say that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. Now for this one, we are going to actually have the same cross multiplication as the other one, same diagonal. So we're going to have 30 times 12, and that equals 360. And then we're going to take our 360 and divide by 1, which is, it should be an easy division for you, is 360. So we end up with a final answer of 360 inches, because that's what we're looking for in the original problem. How many inches tall? So there is using proportions. Now, I know there's some shortcuts. You might know some things. I would like you on your homework to write out the proportions if you're using proportions, or if you're using the conversion factors, like on the first side, please write out this piece here. You don't have to write out again what you typed into your calculator, but just this here.